Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So Jeremy Fowler of ESPN just dropped an absolutely massive article literally called NFL Draft Buzz. And he's from the Senior Bowl, so he's obviously a well-connected guy. He's dialed in. And when you're at the Senior Bowl, it's one of those places where everybody's in the same place at once, pretty much, right? Everybody's in the same town. So the rumors pick up, the speculation picks up, and people get a real sense of what could potentially happen down the road. Fowler touches on tons of different topics, Senior Bowl prospects, what the Bears are going to do with the first overall pick, what he's hearing about Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett was even mentioned. So let's dive into it first with Derek Carr, right? Obviously, a guy who I feel like a lot of Jets fans would really love at the quarterback position, but a guy who isn't for everybody. Personally, I would love Derek, and Jeremy Fowler had this to say on him. A trade or release could happen anytime now. I talked to a few execs who think the Raiders could cut him before he plays in the flag football game this Sunday. He mentions the Saints as a potential team. I think the thing that just instantly stands out was when Fowler said that he could be released anytime, and it could be before Sunday. You know, it's early Friday morning, so either today or tomorrow, Derek Carr could officially be on the free agency market. That is nuts to me, right? Of course, you know, this was kind of the expectation with Derek, but just to actually see it crystallize like that, Derek Carr becomes a free agent. It is wild to think about, right? Totally weird. So to take my Jet hat off for a second and look at Derek Carr to the New Orleans Saints, I do think that makes a lot of sense. And honestly, you know, as much as I hate to admit it, I do think Derek would thrive down in New Orleans. I really think he would do a good job with that style of system. He's in a dome. He's in the NFC South, a division that's completely wide open. You have stars on offense. You have stars on defense. The only problem with the Saints, I believe right now they're like $50 to $60 million over the cap. I know the Saints were in the same predicament last year. They got around it by just restructuring deals and whatnot. But that's really my only concern here with the Saints. Like, if you're a Saints fan, like how do we bring in Derek Carr on a multi-year deal, paying him a solid contract? This isn't going to be 1 year $8 million. Okay, it's not going to be 2 years, $25 million. This is going to be you would assume a 3 to 4 year contract worth anywhere from, I want to say $33 to $40 million annually, somewhere in that range. How do we afford this guy? But gotta be honest, selfishly speaking, I would love Derek Carr to be a Jet, right? If he hits the free agency market, I personally think that a contract needs to be offered. You don't want to miss. This is actually something that we talked about, I think a couple weeks ago, right? Where, yeah, you can have all the interest you want in Aaron Rodgers. You can feel like you're going to go get him. You can even talk with the Green Bay Packers and set up a deal. But at the end of the day, if Aaron does not want to go, he's not going. So you have to have some sort of plan B. You have to have some sort of plan C if you're a team like the New York Jets. If you're fully invested in Aaron Rodgers, again, totally cool. Make that push. All more power to you. But if he decides to retire, if he decides to stick with the Green Bay Packers, if Green Bay wants to trade him to Vegas, and the Jets are out of luck, and Derek Carr is already off the board, now we're looking at 2023 with our options like Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, potentially Ryan Tannehill. And although all three of those guys would be considered upgrades over what the Jets had last year, I just don't feel like that would sit well with a lot of fans, knowing that Saleh's on the hot seat, Joe Douglas potentially on the hot seat, and the Jets had a chance to go get Derek Carr as a free agent, and we put all of our eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, if you will. That's all I'm saying. So, according to Fowler, a release is expected here, and it could come before Sunday. That is absolutely nuts, and the Saints are the team to watch. Now, in regards to Jeremy Fowler on Aaron Rodgers, he said, yes, the expectation around the league is that the Jets are going to go after Rodgers. They are going to see what they can package. Some teams are concerned about retirement and only playing 1 year. You can see a package of conditional picks based on him playing more than 1 year. I think that's totally fair. If you are looking at Aaron Rodgers, as good as he is, at the end of the day, he will be 40 years old, and assuming he plays, next season for whatever team out there, this retirement stuff is going to come up again, because it's not like he's going to get younger over the year, right? He's only going to walk further down the possible retirement path, if that makes sense. So, if he retires at 41 and the Jets, assuming the Jets here, trade away a package and he only plays on the New York Jets for one season and then retires, I mean, it's like, I personally, I don't want to be in this position next offseason where it's like, yeah, the Jets had a great year, Jets made the playoffs, whatever it is, but now we're back to trying to find the franchise quarterback. The only difference is that the Jets are now on the hook for Aaron Rodgers' massive contract for years on end. And also, we would have to give up something to go get him. That's really my only concern with Rodgers. The dude is a beast. The dude, I feel like, at the top of his game, like literally at age 40, he can still be a top 5, top 6 quarterback. That's just me, though. Again, I think the only downside is him retiring after one season, and the Jets spending so much money, so many assets on a guy who hardly plays for the team in the grand scheme of things. So I think a trade package based off of conditional picks makes total sense. But I mean, if you're the Green Bay Packers now and you put yourself in their shoes, it's like, do we really want to trade Aaron Rodgers out of all the players on this team? Do we want to trade Aaron Rodgers for a package of conditional picks? I don't know. And if there's going to be multiple teams involved, maybe we have a team out there, a team that's maybe more desperate than the Jets, offer a package with solidified draft picks. You can have our 1, you can have our 2, something like that. You can have a player. Speaking of that, Fowler went on to say that there's going to be several teams who get involved with the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes. The Raiders could get involved. Davante Adams, he says, I'm told, wouldn't mind that. And as we all know, Davante Adams put up this kind of this tweet linking Aaron Rodgers to Vegas. Nobody knows if he was serious or if he was just playing around. I thought it was pretty funny, but I'll throw it up on the screen if you guys haven't seen it. Long story short, Davante Adams was getting asked a bunch of questions, and one of the questions popped up like, hey, where's Aaron Rodgers, or what city is Rodgers going to be playing in next year? And Davante Adams said mine. So there's obviously a ton of pressure on Robert Saleh and these guys to make the playoffs, but when I look at Las Vegas, if the Raiders roll out 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins next year, I don't see McDaniel sticking around. So he has a ton of pressure on him as well to go fix the quarterback position. If you are moving on from your franchise quarterback since 2014 and you're clearing all this money, you got to think that the Raiders are going to be in play for either Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy G. Jimmy G, though, does have the upper hand with working with McDaniels in the past. So I think it really comes down to, what does McDaniels value more? Somebody that knows his system, or just going to land a top 5, top 6 quarterback in Aaron Rodgers? Now, in regards to Nathaniel Hackett, Fowler said the feeling at the Senior Bowl, speaking to multiple people, is that Nathaniel Hackett could have sat on the beach and collected $80,000 a week, and he wouldn't come back without bringing his luggage, meaning Aaron Rodgers or another quarterback with him. That's fair, right? I mean, it totally makes sense. It's logical. The only thing I will say is that it's not like, I feel like when guys get fired, like when head coaches get fired, it's not like they're taking time off to collect money. In some cases, it's almost you're taking time off to clear the noise, or you're letting the fire die down a little bit, so you don't just immediately, kind of like an Adam Gase situation, where you get fired in Miami, you instantly get hired as the Jets head coach, and everybody is up in arms. Miami Dolphin fans are clowning the New York Jets. Jets fans are irritated. This is not going to work out. He was just fired. Did he learn anything? Did he learn from his mistakes? What is going on here? I think it's to step away and let the noise die down a bit. But I will say this, in some cases, you see guys instantly jump back in with another team, like get right back into the grind, because they don't feel like they could afford to take time off, because there's been multiple instances where a head coach gets fired, right? And they take that year off, and now all of a sudden they can't crack the league. They can't get back in. Marvin Lewis is a good example of this, was what with the Bengals since 2003, gets fired in 2018, goes to college with Arizona State, I think he served as like a special advisory role 1 year. And since then he's been interviewing with different head coaching, with interviewing with teams for head coaching opportunities. He has not gotten any luck whatsoever. And he has interviewed multiple times with several teams. It's not just one team. The Lions had interest, the Jets had interest at one point. He cannot crack the NFL, and it's really interesting. So two sides of the coin here with Nathaniel Hackett. I think Fowler brings up a really good point. And, the good news here for the Jets fans, a quarterback is coming. A quarterback is coming, whether it's Rodgers, whether it's Carr, whether it's, again, a Baker Mayfield, a Jimmy G, whoever it might be. I know some are more exciting than others, but they're all upgrades over what the team had last year, and that's the silver lining. So anyway, what's your take on the report? I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much, and as always, go Jets.